We are all here for a very important event to raise awareness about a very important thing in all our lives. Many of us may not have thought about organ donation. Many of us may feel that we have nothing to do with it, but it's a question of life. So therefore, let's go back to life in general. Your life, my life, all our lives. What is it that we want in life? Any answers? What are we looking for as human beings?
Good health.
Peace, happiness.
Happiness? Yes, of course, good health.
Contentment.
What else?
Contentment.
Contentment, happiness. What else?
Peace.
Success?
Peace of mind.
Peace, yes. But are we not looking first for success, prosperity, doing well in life?
Good health.
Good health is a given. Without good health, you can't do anything. And the last is that we want to grow to our potential. In order to achieve all of these, we need to understand some basic fundamental principles of life that we need to adhere to in order to just become successful and happy. Forget about the rest. So, we are going to address just these three principles of life. You know, when people speak, they give a lot of facts, they give a lot of information, and at the end of it, you're entertained maybe, you are impressed maybe, but you go back with very little. So today, I'm going to stick to just three principles. When you act, you can act, we have a choice, to act with the attitude of giving or the attitude of taking. Right? What do most people act with? Giving or taking? Taking, yes. Why? Because it is taking that gives immediate pleasure. So when you grab a good deal for yourself, you go home and brag about it, I got a good deal, I profited. It gives you immediate pleasure. But the fact is, the truth is, the law is, when you give, you gain. When you grab, you lose. You don't even have to give anything, just the thought of giving. And you don't have to grab anything. You just strategize in your mind, I will take something from that person. At that moment, you are impoverished. But we don't know it. And therefore, ignorantly, we go around living life with the attitude of grabbing, taking, aggrandizing, profiteering. You take anyone in the world who's been successful, it is because they have had the attitude of giving. So whether it is Steve Jobs, I'll give you an example. You know, Beats is a company that manufactures headphones. Those of you who are fond of music will have come across this. The founders of Beats, the company, are two partners. These two guys admired Steve Jobs immensely. They were friends of Steve Jobs. So they went to him and said, you are an amazing combination of engineering, a good business head, and aesthetics. Because every Apple product is a beautiful product. Those of you who are in the know of things. And it's very difficult to get a combination of a good engineering head, a good businessman, and aesthetics. So how do we get more people like you, they asked. And he said, very simple, start a course that combines all three. So these two went to a university and said, we want to start a course. And the university dean said, put your money where your mouth is. So each of them donated $30 million. $30 million to that university to start a course. And you know what happened to them? Within months, they were bought over by Apple. And each of them got $120 million. In 4 months, if their wealth went up 4 times, you can imagine the amount they received. How did they receive it? Because they gave. If you don't believe me, try it out. Experiment with it. You've lived your life with the attitude of giving. You know what the result has been. Now change. And see what fantastic results come out. Right up to the end. Shruti was talking about various myths that are there about organ donation. I can give you straight out of the Upanishad, the Ishavasya Upanishad, where the student, the young man, young, bright, brilliant student is on the verge of realization. And he says, let my elements go back to where they belong. What a fine thought. Even in the moment of death, he thinks of giving. He says, all these years, I don't know whether it has occurred to you, all these years you have aggrandized your body to yourself. You have taken from nature. And at the point of death, at least, when the body is of no use to you, at least at that time you must say, let the elements that I have grabbed to myself all these years go back to where they belong. And that is straight endorsement for organ donation. And if you do that, what awaits you is enlightenment. What is there in the future for a person who gives? And he gives what? Like Shruti said. In death, when you give an organ, you're giving something that is totally useless to you. And what you're giving to the recipient is something enormously precious, priceless, something you cannot put a figure on. Why would you deny yourself this wonderful opportunity of giving? Because otherwise when you give, if your resources go down and the recipient's resources go up. But here is a giving where you're giving something that is of no use to you. But what the recipient is receiving is priceless. So therefore, when you give, you gain. All givers are happy. All takers are unhappy. So to the extent you are unhappy and stressed out, don't blame anyone else for it. No one in the world can cause you unhappiness except yourself. So therefore, if you are unhappy, you have only yourself to blame. Don't pick on your mother-in-law. Don't pick on the boss. Don't pick on anybody. Accept within yourself, yes, I am responsible. So how do you become happy? Learn to give. It's an art that you need to cultivate. It's an art that you need to develop. Now with Diwali just gone, a gentleman in Mumbai told me, what is this Diwali? You know, you have to keep giving, giving, giving. I said, that's the most wonderful part of Diwali, that it gives you a wonderful opportunity to give to all the people who have given you. I don't know how many of you look at it like that. It said, so therefore, how do you cultivate this attitude of giving? When you understand that all your life you have been taking. You've been taking from family members, you've been taking from society, you've been taking from your teachers, you've been taking from nature. Every moment you are breathing in valuable oxygen and throwing out carbon dioxide into the air. Don't you think you owe someone for that? And when you come to this awareness that I have taken so much, the first thing is you develop a sense of gratitude, and then you develop this irresistible urge to give, to share, to contribute, to include the whole world in the largesse that has been gifted to you. And so therefore, give without holding back. Second, emotionally, when we have relationships with people, all our relations, wherever I go in the world, people are, at the end of the day, it all looks hunky-dory on the surface. You get down to the bottom of it, there is grief, there are tears, there is anguish. Why? In relationships. So whether it is between spouses, or with a parent and a child, or between siblings, there is love. But that love is accompanied by suffering. And does it never occur to you, why is it that I'm suffering? Why is it that the person I love most is giving me maximum grief? The truth of the matter is, it is not the other person who is giving you grief. It is you yourself. Your attitude. So when you establish a relationship, you enter into the relationship because you need the other person. Isn't it? Why do you get married? Well, most of us are past that. Why does a young person get married? Because I need marriage. It's not because the other person needs. So from the starting point, we have what is known as in Vedanta attachment. Attachment means I'm unable to live by myself. I'm unable to stand by myself. And so, like for instance, suppose I had polio in one leg, I would be unable to stand on both my feet and I need support. I need a crutch. We treat all our relationships as crutches. It is because we are incapable of living by ourselves that we need to hang on to other people. And when you are dependent on the other person, there are expectations from the other person. You want the other person to do things for you. You want the other person to say nice things to you. You want the other person to do whatever, cater to you in some way. And when that is not met with, when your demands are not met with, there is frustration, bitterness, and conflict. So, as a poet said, and love is still an emptier sound, the modern fair one's jest, on earth unknown, or only found to warm the turtle's nest. This is an English poet who has written this. So therefore, what must you do? Many people believe that the Indian culture tells you to be detached, and then there are ladies who come and tell, oh, but how can I be detached? How can I give up my husband and family? I said, who wants you to give up your husband and family? Please don't give up your husband. Nobody wants him. You keep it. But what is to be done, what is to be given up is your selfishness. The moment you give up your selfishness, the thought of self, then the expectations cease, the demands reduce, and there is true love that's flowing from you to not just the people you have a relationship with, to the whole world. And it's only when you feel for others that you will give, isn't it? Like Shruti said, have you ever put yourself in the place of a person who's suffering because his or her loved one is dying because of a lack of a kidney or a liver or whatever it is? The problem is we don't think, we don't feel. We feel only for those that we have a relationship. So until the problem hits you, you couldn't care less. That's not human. In the Indian culture, we speak of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which means the whole universe is one family. Which means you must feel for everyone. And that feeling is then followed up with action. Therefore, you see, in whichever way, I'm just linking the principles of living with organ donation. And the third is, you live life, you live in the world, you interact with the world, you enjoy the world, but you must never forget that the world and all that it has to offer is impermanent, temporary, passing, transient. It will go. The one thing you are guaranteed is, whatever you have will go sometime. You are all talking about good health. Thank your stars, you are in good health. This moment, you don't know what is going to happen the next moment. In fact, you don't even know what is happening inside you right now. You believe you are in good health. Right?
Correct.
So therefore, when you understand, there's a beautiful poem about a king in Persia and how he lived life. This king, He lived life like any other person. He acquired all the wealth of the world. But within himself, he knew that it will pass. So he asked himself, what is wealth? The king would say, even this will pass. Well, if you have wealth, the one thing you are guaranteed is someday it will go. Then, when you are a king, when you are rich and famous, people gather around you, they laugh at everything you say, whether it is really funny or not. And when all this happened, he enjoyed himself, but he never forgot that it will pass. And then he got married. Who did he get married to? When a young king gets married, woman fairest ever seen was the bride he crowned as queen. Seated, pillowed on the marriage bed, whispering to his soul, he said, though no monarch ever pressed fairer bosom to his breast, mortal flesh is only clay, even this will pass away. Mind you, he didn't tell her that, he told himself. And so on. Now when you live a life like this, with a clear understanding that everything in the world will pass, yet you interact with it, you enjoy it, you live life to the fullest, then when the time comes for you to depart, you go without any anguish or bitterness. Struck with palsy, sore and old, waiting at the gates of gold, said he with his dying breath, life is done, but what is death? And as answer to the king fell a sunbeam on his ring, showing by a heavenly ray, even this will pass. So, your organs are yours only as long as you are alive. Once you are gone, the organs are not yours, they belong to someone else. So, you are really not giving, you are only giving back. You are giving back to nature, which gave it to you in the first place. So, you are really not giving. And therefore, charity is not giving, charity is just giving back. I end here because I know there are other things that are planned. But those of you who want to hear more about these wonderful ideas that are so empowering, that give so much happiness and that help us to reach excellence, please come to G.V. Birla Sabhagar, 6:30 to 8 p.m. today and tomorrow. These are the last 2 days. Thank you very much.